God, my stomach.
Oh no, sugar. David, are you well again? Is Nurgle going to come around again?
Nope, my mama can't cook.
Hold on. How did you eat your mother's cooking in the future in the web way?
What did I say about questions?
Is this joke getting run into the ground?
Do you want the sticker or not?
Yes, please.
Then here you go.
Yay! Either way, you're a bit sick because of your mother's cooking, but what did you want to talk about this Monday? Movie review? RPG review? Or business talk?
I was thinking business talk this time, as we've just released a game on DriveThruRPG, which I could review the website itself, as it feels like using the publisher portion of it was designed in 2004 and never got updated. But in all honesty, the website isn't really a big issue. I know some schmucks on the website, formerly known as Twitter, were complaining about the review process of the website, but I was to point out that the website is not licensed for an 18 plus website, so they'd need to go through every RPG set up for sales and make sure it's not distributing some nasty stuff you could find in Fatal. God, that game still has scars in my brain. But that's just something I want to bring up. Cat Empire is available on DriveThruRPG. It's been up for a little less than a week. It's a small, short RPG that's got an evolving dice system similar to Savage Worlds or Essence 20 or otherwise. It's only 3 pages long, so there's not much to talk about. But it's a fun little game made by my business partner, where you play as a cat, can do cat things. I'm just worried the band will end up throwing a fit over it, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. If we come to it. We'll find out in the future. It's free to play, but you can decide to pay any amount you choose on DTRPG website, though I'll recommend that you get it with no cost, decide if you like it, and if you decide you want to, pay no more than $1 US, should you decide. DTRPG takes 40% of the amount as they need to profit given we're using their services to sell our game. So I'm actually okay with the amount they take. If we paid them, they'd take 25%, which is an insane amount for me giving them money. Huh. 1 page into the script and I'm already out of things to talk about. I'm usually cutting out paragraphs of shit, which leads to me missing very important stuff when I'm reviewing TTRPGs and stuff. So, what should I talk about for the rest of this video? Oh, I know. I'm working on another game. This one isn't a role-playing game, it's a war game, actually. I don't have a name for it yet, but I'm working on a small-scale sort of war game. Let's see if I can give a quick and dirty to how it works. I'll have to use phrasing to connect it to Warhammer, so it'll be easier for me to explain, really. So, each model is an equivalent to an entire unit. Each hit point is equivalent to a single person in said unit. And each hit points have a number of attacks equivalent to their weapons. You'll need to know the percentage of those left standing, then roll a percentile to find out how many of the shots would make it through, adding your ranged or melee skill to the die roll to find out how many of said shots can actually hit their targets. Your opponent will then roll their resistances, adding their armor percentage to the die roll. The result will be how many of the shots will go through, hurt them. Of course, below a certain point on the die would lead to all shots missing. So essentially having a round down sort of thing, but I've yet to figure out how far. Of course, abilities will add certain things and certain stuff, but that's a single combat encounter in the pending named game. I've got a particular idea for the rounds and phases to keep both players on their toes. So both turns will be done one phase at a time. Each phase will be done at the same time. For a better example, player 1 will move a model, then player 2 will move a model, until both players have moved everything. Then player 1 will declare an attack, whether ranged or melee or charging in, then player 2 until all have completed. And this will go on until both players have done everything they can with all their units. In all honesty, looking over this system now, I'm realizing games shouldn't last near as long as Warhammer games, both 40k and Age of Sigmar, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, really. Of course, I need to figure out special abilities, spells, and such. Right now, I have 4 factions designed with at least 3 types of characters in each. Chivalry, I call them, filling in the melee-focused army with more siege warfare, tactics at range. Big guns sort of things. One subgroup will be the Berserkers, charging in with a high chance of dying, but a high number of attacks per HP, and high damage. You essentially acting as Zergs. Siegers, working with the big machines like trebuchets and ballistics, dealing with the insane damage with little accuracy and very few attacks. And archers also being pretty low damage and low survivability, but almost guaranteed to hit. Next is the Saloon faction. Yes, I brought him in from the RPG. I'm still trying to find an illustrator for. I'm working on a contract to start handing out. They'll deal with magic and stealth mostly. Their subgroups are as follows. Rangers, who specialize in getting in, taking guys out one at a time. Magicians, who specialize in warping the field. And trappers, who specialize in luring enemies into snags, sacrificing themselves in the process. Then we've got Apocalypse, which I based off the ideas of the 7-Year War in the Book of Revelations. Angels are primarily the healers of the group. Mortality is the adaptive ones with high survival rates, and demons are brutes who torture to gain. Last up is the Future faction named Pending. They have the humans, who are tech masters with some heavy firepower, the spliced human-beast combo mutants that adapt and strike, and mutants who have a high chance of dying, but die in a way that can cause problems for enemies, essentially being sappers. Now, obviously, everything is still in hard works. I can't even give this thing a name until I figure out how to balance this game. And then I'll need to start 3D printing models to sell for it too, and figure out how the map will work. My initial idea was to have a Heroescape type map system, but with Renegade Game Studios now owning Heroescape, I don't know if there'd be a problem in using their tile system. So that needs to be reworked. Given they shut down a branch of Wikidot that gave information on their Essence 20 games. Seriously. But I think that's enough for me chatting. One game we're working on, one illustrator we're hunting, and one game we have available. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you fucking want to. I don't care. I'm not your dad. Now, shove off.